The Global Young Diplomats Forum has called on African governments to increase youth participation in governance, security, economic development, and peace building across the continent. The African Regional President of the Forum, Ifeanyi Pius Wefuda, made the call at a press conference in Abuja to commemorate the 2026 International Youth Day with the theme Different Contexts, Common Aspirations. Wefuda said young people should no longer be treated merely as leaders of tomorrow, but should be empowered to participate meaningfully in decision-making and leadership today. He emphasized the need for effective implementation of the African Youth Charter, the United Nations World Programme of Action for Youth, the Commonwealth Plan of Action for Youth Development, and related national youth policies.
Today, we commemorate International Youth Day 2026 established by the United Nations General Assembly Resolution 54/120, which recognized the young people are vital partners in building the better world. That resolution was not a suggestion, it was a call to action. Across the globe, nations are adopting this mandate, from the European Union's Youth Strategy to the African Union's Agenda 2063. Governments are waking up to the reality that without young people, there is no future. The African Youth Charter, ratified by most member states, makes binding commitments to youth empowerment in governance, peace, and development. But let us be honest, commitments on paper are not commitments in practice. Too many countries have signed charters and passed laws, yet young people remain sidelined, unemployed, unheard, and underutilized. The widening gap between global north and global south reality is unimaginably, and we are here today to demand that this gap be closed now through the ratification and implementation of United Nations World Programs of Action for Youth, WPAY, Commonwealth Actions Plan for Youth Development, Nigerian Youth Development Index Report 2009, Nigerian Youth Action Plan 2011, National Youth Policy as reviewed, African Union Solemn Deliberations on Youth Employability through the implementation of the Agenda 2063. Nigeria's youth program progress and gaps. In Nigeria, we have seen efforts, the Nigerian Youth Policy 2021 to 2036 and its successors framework recognize the centrality of youth to national development. We acknowledge programs like the N-Power and other creation schemes, the Nigerian Youth Investment Fund, NYIF, the Digital Nigeria Initiative, and the UWIN, and various skills acquisition and entrepreneurship programs. These are commendable steps, but commendation is not the same as satisfaction. The truth is, these programs reach a fraction of the youth population. They are often politicized, poorly funded, inconsistently implemented, and disconnected from the realities of young people in the villages, the towns, and the cities. We are grateful for this effort, therefore, but we demand scale, sustainability, and inclusion, not tokenism. The migration crisis, which we all know, the Japa syndrome, and urban pressure. Let us speak frankly about a crisis that is stealing Africans' future, rural to urban migration, and the Japa syndrome. Across Nigeria and Africa, young people are fleeing villages for cities in search of opportunities that do not exist at home. They arrive in Lagos, Nairobi, Accra, and Johannesburg, only to find overcrowding, unemployment, crime, and despair. And when the cities fail them, they look beyond the continent, Japa. The desperation to escape has become a survival instinct, not a lifestyle choice. This exodus is draining our rural economies, increasing urban insecurity, and exporting our brightest talents. It is creating economic vacuum and fueling social unrest. The challenges of the urban slums youth gangs, and organized crimes are direct consequences of a system that has abandoned its young. We are not asking young people to stop dreaming of global opportunities, but we are asking governments to create reasons to stay. Job, security, healthcare, education, and dignity. This is our charge to the youth. Youths must learn to shun violence and pursue peace. To the young people of Africa, I speak directly. Do not allow frustration to turn you into a weapon of destruction. The world is watching, and some forces are waiting to exploit young anger, to recruit you into violence, extremism, and criminality. We regret that part, or rather we reject that part, reject the narrative that young people are pawns in political and ethical conflict. You are not soldiers of hate, you are architects of peace. We call for de-radicalization, not through force, but through engagement, through education, dialogue, and opportunity. When young people have stake in society, they defend it. When they have nothing to lose, they burn it. We say to government, de-radicalize through development, create pathways that make violence unattractive and peace profitable. Youth economic inclusion and security integration. Economic inclusion is the greatest anti-drug, the greatest anti-crime strategy, and the greatest peace-building tool ever invented. Today, the Global Young Diplomats Forum calls the African government to do the following, please. Integrate youth into security structures, community policing, intelligence gathering, conflict mediations, and early warning system. Young people are not threats, they are protectors of their communities. Increase the quota of youth in national development, not as observers, but as decision makers in cabinets, parliaments, and development agencies. Implement universal health coverage, UHC, because a sick youth population cannot build a healthy economy. Adopt data tools like the Nigerian Youth Index to accurately track the plan of youth needs. Without data, we are guessing. With data, we are governing. A fairy call to action. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, members of the press, this is not a moment for mild speeches or polite applause. It is the moment for demand. We demand the Africa Youth Charter to implement, not shelved. We demand the universal health coverage to deliver, not postponed. We demand the youth quotas in governance be binding, not optional. We demand the security architecture includes young people, not exclude them. We demand that data-driven policies replaces guesswork. We demand that the Japa syndrome be reversed through opportunities, not through desperation. As we demand that every young person in Africa seen, heard, equipped, and empowered, not as future leaders, but as leaders today. A message to the youth of the world, to every young person across the globe today. I say this to you all. You are not merely the leaders of tomorrow, you are the change makers of today. Regardless of your country, culture, background, or circumstances, your ideas, your courage, and your actions have the power to shape the future of our world.